Hey guys, it's Gawain, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the slightly weaker operators on attack, IQ. IQ is a 3-speed 1-armor attack operator that specializes in general gadget denial and fragging. She's got a gadget that can counter most gadgets on defense and a good selection of guns to choose from. Good IQ players will destroy as much defender utility as they can whilst fragging out at the same time. Let's learn how to play her. IQ is equipped with her Flippy Finder, of which she gets one that can be used infinitely. This device is a wrist-mounted flip phone that detects every electronic gadget on defense up to 20 meters away through walls, floors, and every other object that is in the way of IQ's direct line of sight. All of the gadgets that IQ can detect are on screen now, so feel free to pause the video and have a look at what is essentially a list of every gadget on defense. Once you press your ability button, IQ will flip open her Flippy Finder and equip her secondary weapon too. To initially find electronics, wave your scanner around the building where sight is, and at the least the bomb should pop up. When you look at one of the gadgets directly, you will see the icon of what it is in the top right hand side of the scanner, so you can decide if it is a priority target or not. Ping each gadget that's specific to an operator to reveal their identity to the team without having to scan them, so you and your team know who is on the board and what to look for. Once you've identified as many people as possible, your job is to clear as much utility as possible. The best way to do this is to go below or above sight and shoot out the gadgets through a soft floor so the enemy can't see you trying to peek the gadget. That's all there is to IQ's primary gadget. It's just point, ping, and shoot. IQ's primary weapon options are the AUG A2 assault rifle, the 5.52 Commando assault rifle, and the G8 A1 light machine gun. Her secondary weapon is the P12 handgun. I personally run the 5.52 Commando paired with the P12 of course. The 5.52 Commando has a high damage stat with a relatively slow fire rate, but not one that makes it bad by any means. It's got low recoil and access to the 1.5 times scope, so it's pretty good by default. You can also put the extended barrel on this thing to make it hit even harder, so I highly recommend doing that and pairing it with the vertical grip. This is what I typically run on IQ because it's reliable and it melts enemies when you don't hit the head and hit their chest instead. The AUG A2 is a reliable assault rifle with good damage, fire rate, recoil, and scope selection. It's the 5.52's main competitor on IQ's loadout, but I think the fire rates are too similar to pass up the damage stat that can 2-tap 3 speeds to the chest. Run the AUG if you prefer it because it is a good gun, but the 5.52 is definitely better. As for the G8 A1, it's okay I suppose. It's got a good fire rate and a decent damage stat, but no access to any zoom optics and worse recoil than IQ's assault rifles due to the LMG nerf a while back. The G8 can go burr, but the Commando and even the AUG outclass it at this point in my opinion. The P12 is a reliable pistol that is also part of your primary gadget really. Whack a suppressor on it to stealthily take out gadgets without the defenders noticing, or put a muzzle brake on it for even less recoil in a gunfight like me. In terms of secondary gadgets, IQ gets access to either 2 claymores or 3 breaching charges. I personally pick the claymores because they allow IQ to play above or below sight better, as she'll have something to watch her flanks. You can also prevent runouts and other general flanks that the enemy may try to attempt. As for breaching charges, they can allow you to play vertically even better when sniping out gadgets from above sight. You can open up sightlines onto common hiding spots the enemy may play in for easy kills. Honestly, it's up to you which secondary gadget you choose because they can both suit IQ very well. I just tend to opt for the claymores myself. During the drone phase, you either want to set up a flank cam near sight so you know where it's safe to push in from at the start of the action phase, or you want to save your drone. It doesn't really matter if you don't find the bomb chassis, as long as you have a general idea of where sight is, you can identify everything in the action phase. To start off the action phase, get your Flippy Finder out and flipping find the bombs so you and your team know exactly where to push. Start pinging gadgets that you see to identify the enemy and drone yourself into the building, preferably above or below sight. Once you're in, place a claymore or 2 down to watch your flanks and get your scanner out again. Try your best to clear as much out of sight as you can, starting from where your team are playing. When you've done all you can, get onto the same floor as sight and you can either commit to a flank from another side to where your team are playing, or you can play with your team. Either way, you are fragging up now that you've done your job, so take gunfights when you can and hopefully win them. When the diffuser goes down, you can either hold an angle or play vertically with your scanner out, waiting for the enemy to defuse so that you can see their diffuser disabler and floor bang them. IQ has one counter. Solace. Solace can see IQ's scanner through walls the same way IQ can see Solace's goggles through walls when they are activated. Both of these characters can communicate back to their team where the other one is at the same time. There isn't really a way to prevent this. Wave your scanner around as much as possible to identify every electronic device the enemy has brought and communicate that back to your team so they are prepared for it. Use the 5.52 commando with the extended barrel attached to shred enemies with body shots. Ping enemy gadgets to identify them so your team knows exactly what kind of gadgets to expect and what kind of playstyles to expect too. Use the claymores to watch runouts and flanks whilst you play vertically into sight and destroy every gadget possible. Learn how to minimize the time you spend on your scanner by being super efficient at clearing gadgets so then you can go and drone and frag out for your team, hopefully making a big impact. Overall, IQ is a pretty easy operator to play in my opinion, with not much depth at all. Her gadget is super simple with no little intricacies to it. Her guns are easy to use and she's fast so can rotate around the map with ease. Learn how to make the most out of your primary gadget, how to frag out with the 5.52, how to be useful to the team when you have no more gadgets to clear, and you're sure to become a pretty decent IQ player. Thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed. If you found this guide helpful in any way, shape or form, please do consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends as that does help grow the channel, which is very much appreciated. As always, all the clips you saw in this video were taken from my Twitch stream, link will be on screen and in the description. Legion is next for the Siege series, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Oh!
So smart!
Please put Rect in all chat. You've turned it off. You can't.
I've turned it off, yeah. Oh my god! I am so smart.
I'll put in all chat for you. Ferb says get
Thank you.
Ferb says Rect.